I just got the Tamiya mini 4-wheel drive lap timer, but unfortunately, there was battery corrosion. So yes, I bought this off of eBay, and the ad said that this was in perfectly good working order. The only thing missing was the instruction manual, and I thought to myself, well, it can't be too hard to figure this one out. You just press the button to turn it on, and you also press the button to reset this timer. That's what I know about this lap timer anyway. I've seen it in action. I've played with it. Pretty cool. So yeah, when I received it, so lo and behold, there was an instruction manual in there, and I was very happy. However, when I opened it up, look at this. There's that horrible blue stuff all over the contacts. And that's why when I tried putting batteries into this thing, it just didn't work. And I was like, oh no, I bought a lemon. What am I going to do about this? And then I thought to myself, well, wait, you could clean up battery corrosion. You can fix the problem. So I thought to myself, what do I need to clear away battery corrosion? So they have this stuff. It's called Corrosion Gone. So I purchased this off of Amazon, and it was only like $13 and something cents. And yeah, this claims to be able to clean off all that corrosive battery acid, all that stuff that turns blue, all that stuff that sticks onto your contacts in your electronic devices. So how do you get this? You may ask, how do you get this blue acid all over your equipment? It's because whoever it was who was playing with the toy or device left the batteries inside, and over time, after many years, maybe many months, the batteries leak, and so you get all this white stuff that ends up on your contacts. Now, over time, this white stuff turns blue, and then you have this case where it's very difficult to remove that battery acid off of those contacts. Sometimes that acid is so strong that it starts deteriorating things inside the device. So I was faced with this situation. Should I just return this device, or should I just try to clean it? So I tried cleaning it, and it still wasn't working. I tried using this Corrosion Gone, and I could not get my contacts to go from this picture to this picture. I tried very hard to try to like scrape away all of that battery acid. It wasn't working. So I was like, you know, I'm going to return this. I'm just going to find other ways of dealing with this. And then I found out, yes, one of the tried and true methods is to use lemon juice, something that you probably have in your refrigerator, as well as alcohol. Yes, rubbing alcohol. So here I have a 91% alcohol that I purchased from Walgreens. Yeah, this is like, what, $3 at most? And this bottle of lemon juice, what is it, like $3 at most? So yeah, a lot cheaper than buying this little jar of Corrosion Gone, which doesn't work. So when I tried applying the lemon juice on the contacts, I was able to scrape away, using a Q-tip, some of the battery acid. And then I used alcohol on top, and I also was able to basically scrape away the battery acid with Q-tips. And then, yeah, you're left with this lemony alcohol mixture that's on there. Don't worry about it, because you can take a dry Q-tip and just wipe away all that stuff. And if you do this several times, not just a one-time thing, several times, you're going to get contacts that will work with your batteries. It took some time to fix it. So let me just show you what a cleaned set of contacts looks like. So here we go. It took a long time to get it to work, and I'm glad that I got it to work. So here it is, folks. You can see right here, you can see where the blue is. I tried scraping away that stuff, right? And it's very hard to get at those spots right there. So I was able to clean away these three contacts because they were completely covered with blue stuff. And notice it kind of like, it's not as shiny as this one. This one looks like it's still good, right? And the other three just look kind of bad. Now look at the other side. All four look good. So here, this is where the battery is leaked, right here. And I noticed also that one of these contacts here, like this one and this one, should look similar. So this was pushed in a lot. So I basically took a pair of cutting shears and pried it out a little bit so that the contacts would better contact a battery when I insert the batteries inside. So it needs 4 AA batteries in here, and then, yeah, it works. So I'm going to show you that it does indeed work. I'm going to pop these 4 batteries in here, and you can see for yourself. And finally, after a lot of cleaning, there it is. Okay, so it says HI right now instead of the usual 0 because I don't have this thing, the silver decals right over it. So once I have the silver decals over it, then it'll act like a more normal lap timer. So here, there we go. I moved it. That's why it's, so if I keep it perfectly still, you can see it'll say 0, 0. And then I moved it. That's why this thing started. That's why the timer started. But yeah, it works now because I cleaned the contacts. It took a long time to clean the contacts. It took over several days. I was cleaning it little by little each day, letting it dry, then cleaning it, letting it dry. And yeah, it took about 3 days worth of cleaning to get this to finally register. So cool. Yeah, and I worked it out with my eBay seller. He was very kind about this whole thing. He was very apologetic and said, I'm sorry that this happened. I'm going to partially refund you and you can go find a place to basically repair this. And so you know what? It took basically like the amount of money that he refunded. It was very generous and it enabled me to basically spend a lot of time on this. And yeah, I was like going through this, for example, and it just didn't work. And then I went through this. And so, yeah, the amount of money basically covered these materials here. And so very cool, very cool, very cool. And I got it to work. And that's so cool. So I'm going to show you another thing that's really cool, another Tamiya mini four-wheel drive thing. So I have here a Brockengeigent. It's an FMA Brockengeigent, one of the new ones. And yes, a lot of you know about the old Brockengeigent, the SFM car, and that was really cool when it came out. And so I have here these two very collectible items here. They are made by Tomy. The company really is Shara Tamika, and they are known for making these little cars right here. They are collectible cars, and these were produced, manufactured back in 1996 to 1999. Pretty darn cool. There are 19 of these cars available, and here, this is a Brockengeigent right here, and this is a Cyclone Magnum. So as you see here, CL9 and CL8. So there are 13 cars that are like this, and then there's additional cars that are special cars, like the Brockengeigent Gold Edition, the gold-plated version. So making 19 cars in total of those special editions in addition to the regular cars. And then there are 4 additional items that are part of this Let's and Go series. 2 of them are car sets, 3 car sets, as well as a carrying case and a racing set that's much like a Hot Wheels racing set. So it comes with a little racetrack, it comes with a shooter, just like Hot Wheels. You know, Hot Wheels, they're not pullback racers, they're kind of like, they're just stationary. And I think this is basically the same way. This is not a pullback racer. So with this shooter device, you place your car in front of the shooter and it shoots the car along the track. And yeah, you can have fun that way with a mechanical car, not a remote control car, folks. Just like mini four-wheel drive is not a remote control kind of car. So yeah, a lot of people ask me, they say to me like, what fun is this, that it's not remote control? And I'm like trying to explain to them that there's a lot of fun here, because if you just turn this car on and set it on a track and you're racing against other people, that's the fun. You're going to try to outwit and outspeed your opponents on this track. Now, the first thing is you want to try to make a car that's stable, solid, and stays on the track. So you can't just willy-nilly put this together and expect to hope for the best and win. No, you have to carefully consider every part of your car and lubricate things properly, break your motor in properly, things like that. You can't simply just use unskilled labor and try to attach everything together and win. No, it doesn't always work. Well, sometimes you can, but it doesn't always work that way. So yeah, there's a lot of skill involved in keeping the car on the track. And so when I explain things that way, that there is a lot of skill involved, just like Pinewood Derby, for example. Pinewood Derby, a lot of people are familiar with that. You just drop the car down, it goes by itself, and yeah, whoever gets to the finish line first wins. Well, a lot of people appreciate Pinewood Derby, so once I describe it that way, then people more likely understand why this is such an awesome hobby. So yeah, and the thing is, you have to really see a race in order to understand. These cars go fast. They're not slow Pinewood Derby cars. Pinewood Derby cars, you're basically allowing gravity to just allow the car to propel forward. Here, you have a motor in there, and you put the motor in. There are different choices of motors, right? So box stock, you just get one basic motor, but you can break the motor in and make the motor faster or more torquey. For Tune Class, for example, you have 3 motors to choose from, and depending on your strategy and the track that's involved, that can determine whether you win or lose. And then Open Class, you have the whole gamut of engines up until Power and Sprint Dash, and that gives you additional options to basically try your luck staying on the track and outspeeding your opponent. Yeah, so it's a very, very interesting hobby. It's a very, very creative hobby in a way, because you could design your own gimmicks, design your own things for your car in open class. Pretty darn cool. And that's where your creativity shines, right? So if you're someone who likes to design your own things, paint cars the way that you like, then this hobby is for you. If you like to design little gimmicks, little inventions, so to speak, to try to enable you to get an advantage over other racers by making things that will allow you to go faster on the track, yes, you're allowed to do those things within reason. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting hobby. It's very technical. It requires a lot of creativity, and yeah, it's just one of those things where, like, you can have all the knowledge in the world, all the smarts in the world, but it doesn't matter, because you need to basically know all the nuances of what this hobby is about, and then use your brain set, use your skill set to try to figure out ways of making your car faster. So cool. So yeah, that's why I'm into mini four-wheel drive. Mini four-wheel drive is like one of those hobbies where it really takes what you know and allows you to apply what you know in something that's fun. And I think that's really, really cool. And I think that kids can really definitely benefit from this, especially in schools, like the STEM learning stuff. Remember, science, technology, engineering, math, that kind of thing. So this is the perfect example of how you can teach these concepts in a fun way to students. Because physics, a lot of kids think physics is boring. A lot of people think that chemistry is boring. And yet, when you describe things about physics in terms of cars and chemistry in terms of batteries, then suddenly kids really care, right? If you just talk about numbers and letters and things, and you scribble things on the board and say, these equations, this is how you're supposed to do these chemical equations, this is how you're supposed to deal with these physical properties of things, nobody cares about that. But when they see a car in action, that's how they can become interested in this. The application of boring stuff is how you can get kids interested in things like chemistry, physics, math, things like that. Very, very cool. So everybody, if you like this video, please slam the like button, subscribe to my channel. You'll see more videos just like this one. Until next time, everybody, see you. Bye.